Most people make the mistake of telling themselves that they will pursue their goals and dreams when they feel better about themselves and they stop struggling. This is a big mistake in my experience. On a personal level in my career, as a confidence coach for 11 years now, and just in my own personal life and learning and experiencing from relationships and friends and other people. Quite a lot of clients do this with regards to signing up to my confidence coaching programs to overcome their social anxiety. They say things like, when I get X, Y, and Z, then I'll take your coaching. Like when I'm stop being stressed, or when I go to the gym, I'll get my mind right, my finances right, when I move house, when I work at my relationship out. And that's human nature, that's fear, that's avoidance, that's rationalization, that's procrastination. It's all those names described. This is one of the tricks, this is the anxiety itself, this is what social anxiety does if you let it. So the solution is, in most cases, of course there can be exceptions, but if we want to get to hard-hitting truths, mental strength, toughness, character, courage, succeeding, this is the solution. You have to take action whilst you're going through a struggle in order to grow in confidence, strength, and achieve your goals, and also to improve your mental health. Because what a lot of people are saying is, I'm not in the right place mentally and emotionally, therefore I can't go gym. But listen to what you're saying. I can't go gym because mentally and emotionally I'm not in the right place. But going to the gym will put you in a good mental and emotional state. Think about that for a second, right? While I read some of this. I made some other notes. Okay, I wrote this morning. This is a note to myself. I practice this every day, really challenging, but equally rewarding, and I teach this. Face the emotions of fear every day, or especially the periods where it needs to be faced. Your emotions of running, exercising, your emotions of business or career or your existing job, your emotions of finding the right relationship, or relationships that you've got, existing relationships. It's not listening to the lies that your mind will tell you and the impressions that your emotions make. And generally people say this to themselves. They say it privately every day. I can't handle it. I won't be able to handle it. You've handled it so many times before. So why can't you handle it again? Stop telling yourself that you can't do it. You can do it. You can do it. Like he says in Rocky, there ain't no can't. So the more you practice it, the better it gets. So let me give you some more examples, and I totally get it. This is called human nature. I've done it. So I'm going to show you experiences from my story where I've chose to be a coward and been afraid, but where I've also overcame it. So I remember going through a long stage in my 20s thinking it's not fair I don't have a girlfriend. Life is so unfair. I was terrified. I was terrified of love. I was terrified of not being loved by a woman, not having a girlfriend, and people looking at me like I'm a loser and judging me, looking down on me. I was frightened of being alone. I was afraid of those voices being right, and I kept saying to myself, well, I'm not ready yet to speak to women and ask women out. When I get myself confident, when I make a lot of money, then I'll be ready. When I graduate at university, or when I become a superstar, all these lies. When God answers my prayers, when somebody feels sorry for me, or when this amazing woman just comes out of nowhere and just says, I love you, I accept you, and she picks me up. And that went on for, how long did this go on for now? My memory serves me for about 3-4 years. It was hell, guys and girls, it was hell. Because I didn't have the courage that I've got now to talk about it and speak about it. I couldn't accept it, I couldn't accept myself. So I told myself lies to make myself feel better. But the truth was, I had to act now. I had to ask women out now, whilst I felt ashamed. Partly about who I was, the bullying that I underwent, the challenging relationship that I had at times with my dad, and at times with my mum, and with myself, and with God, and with everybody. The things that I was ashamed about, all my insecurities, my hang-ups, my fears around not being good looking enough, not being smart enough, growing up poor, not having the right education, not having the right fashion, not being a great conversationalist, not being all the things that I thought a woman would expect me to be that I didn't think I was, comparing myself to the next man and the next man and the next man, and taking things to the extreme, comparing myself to Brad Pitt, to superstars. But that's not where the truth lied. The truth lied in me being relaxed, being myself, not trying too hard, respecting women and asking them out and talking to them with honesty. And when I did that, lo and behold, guess what happened? Well, when obviously at the start I got some rejections, as you always do, but I felt better. I eventually got a girlfriend. They didn't care. The girlfriend that I met didn't care that I didn't have any money, that I was living at my parents' or I was living between accommodations. I didn't have my whole life handled. I didn't feel great about myself. They didn't care because she loved me for who I was. She fell in love with me. Now, of course, she didn't want me to stay that way, but I had an ambition. And I overcame the fear of sharing my ambition and telling her that I want to be something in my life. I want to be successful. I want to help other men that are struggling with anxiety. I believe I've got a gift. And she said, yeah, I believe in you. It nearly took me back because she believed in me. And she didn't leave me because I had no money and because I had this anxiety disorder and because I struggled and I had a lot of things that were bothering me. I told her everything. I really put it all on the line. And that made me feel free. She stayed around. She stayed around because I was honest, not despite me having all these challenges. And I eventually overcame these struggles with the right woman, with love, with honesty, with hard work, with dedication, with a vision, with an unstoppable work ethic. I never gave up. I never gave in to fear. I kept going. I kept growing. I became financially free. I overcame my anxieties. I improved my relationships, especially with my dad. And that's been an ongoing improvement. That's just getting better and better, going from strength to strength. You know, I prayed. I moved out. We moved in together. I overcame these issues. I didn't care anymore because I overcame them. But if I look back now, and if I would have bought those lies that a lot of you are buying, God knows where I'd have been. I could have never experienced love, never had a girlfriend, never become financially free, never say I'd done it, I succeeded. Everybody that put me down and said I'm nothing, I'm trash, I'm this, I'm that, I'm poor and I'm educated, I can't do it, I'm awkward, all the things that they put on me couldn't stop me. And over time I forgave them. And now I feel even a deeper level of forgiveness. I've got no animosity. But that was my story in my 20s, and I'm reciting that now because it needs to be recited. Many men are going through this. When I get this, when I get that, it never ends. If you don't face your fear now, I've worked with clients that have got millions, and they still say that. They've got millions of pounds, and they say, oh, I'm not going to go and ask her out yet. I need to buy her flowers and chocolates. I don't think that's a good idea. Buying a woman flowers and chocolates is a lovely thing to do, but from the right place. You're doing it from the wrong place. You don't even know. You're probably going to freak her out. I wouldn't recommend doing that, because what you're saying is I'm not enough as I am. I've got millions in my account, but me being who I am as a human being is not enough, so I've got to buy you flowers and chocolates. Not from the right place. You know, you buy a woman flowers and chocolates when you love her and you genuinely want to do it, but not from fear, not from that type of fear. So I've coached millionaires on how to value themselves and do it from the right place. And it's not just about millionaires, this is self-esteem. But it's an example of the truth and experiences that I've had, which give a perspective, give me a perspective to share the teaching today, which is about strength of character. Strength comes from truth, it comes from honesty, it comes from kindness, it comes from the heart. It doesn't come from pride and ego and all the fake stuff, which deep down we know. But it doesn't come from being perfect. You don't need to be perfect. The girl that you're asking out's not perfect either. She's got her issues, she's got her hang-ups, she's got her issues around money, around looks, around self-esteem. You know, we're not perfect, but you know, the right person, it'll be the perfect love. So that's what you need to do. People do it with training. You know, people say things like that I'm going to start the gym when I lose the belly. Now I'm not going to go gym, sorry, it doesn't make any sense. What are you on about? You're not going to lose the belly. You've got a big belly now. You're eating loads of junk food. You're lazy. You need to go gym now. Go gym with the belly. That's what I had to do. Humble yourself. So, you know, that whole thing about waiting, it's all fear, it's tricking you. So what you're going to say is, I'm going to prolong my suffering. And so I suffer and suffer and suffer. Start now. Start now. Things can change. Things can change. I learned that in hospital. Multi-millionaires that have had nervous breakdowns and lost everything. People have been homeless and become billionaires. So if we go on that premise that I will do that, but not now, when I get that, there's no confidence in that, there's no truth in that. You're going to be waiting forever then. The mind will use that against you. So make it work for you by taking action. And I'm not saying, for those, you know, the mind, I'm not saying that you can't work some things out now that will make you feel better about moving forward and asking a woman out. Great if you can do that. But in the right context, usually guys won't do that. You know, it's like, well, what's another one? I'm not going to renovate and clean my apartment until all my relationships feel really, really good. Well, they're not going to feel good. If you clean your apartment, your relationships will feel better immediately. So you understand the premise of what I'm teaching today, which is about not putting off and not listening to, basically what it is I'm not good enough now, but I'll be good enough next week. That doesn't work. And there's also guys that are extreme. They've got six packs, great bodies, all the stuff on social media, but they don't feel good enough. They don't feel enough because they haven't found what they need to find to feel good enough. And that's hard to explain right now, but I've been doing it throughout this video. Gratitude. They're not grateful. And you're never going to feel good enough if you can't be grateful for all the things you've got. And if you're using identity and six-pack, it won't work. So that's another video for another story, but you understand what I'm saying. So do it now. And it's the rejections that you don't want to face. Face them. Face them and rise. Face them and grow. Learn. Rejection is not rejection, it's feedback if you keep going. And if you get rejected in class and you're not angry and resentful, you're not attacking back the rejection, you say, okay, hurts, okay, I'll take that. Thank you, Lord, thanks God, or thanks, I'm grateful for my family, I'm grateful for what I've got now. You go to another level, all right? That's it for today. I've done enough. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next video, all right? Good luck, bye.